We Talk family, welcome. It's Thursday. We have a match against Go Ahead Eagles in 1.5 hours from now. So it gives us time to talk about what's going with Ajax this season. Not a lot, as we know. So it's going to be a short talk, just 10 minutes, and then we'll go back to watching the game. No, I'm just joking, guys. Pierre, welcome. Yadorenko, Ajax. Guys, the elephant, the big elephant, the pink elephant in the room, we have to talk about it. But before we start, welcome to everybody that just dialed in or tuned in. If you guys have any questions, if you want to know something about Pierre, Ajax, Yadorenko, how they think about certain stuff, let us know. I will pull it up for them. Who owns Ajax shares? No one? No? Yadorenko? No Ajax shares? No? All right. Just asking, just double checking.
Do you own some or what?
No, I don't. I was just.
Yes, 42,000.
No, I was just asking. All right, guys, we were shocked on Tuesday by the news about Alex Kroes. Let me start with, before going into the story and everything that's involved, why he was basically sacked. He was suspended, but he's going to be sacked. What were your thoughts before when you read it, and after you did some investigation now 2 days later? What do you think? Is that the same feeling or is it different for you? Let me go with you first, Pierre.
Well, first off, it felt like a late April Fool's kind of joke. So I started checking the date and noticed it was the 2nd. So then it kind of starts getting down a bit. You're starting to understand what's going on, and you realize that this is a massive problem. Sorry, Kroes is of course going to do the technical director role in the upcoming transfer window. So he was going to do the transfers, meaning we'll need someone else for that. Meaning we don't have someone to appoint that someone as well, because he's the director himself. So it was a massive surprise and a big shock, and mostly worried about what's to come.
Yeah, and when you looked at what happened, why Kroes was suspended, your thoughts about that, about owning the shares, buying the shares?
First off, I was reasonably mad because I felt like the board should have prevented this situation. But a couple days later, I do think it was Kroes' fault. And I think he just made a massive mistake. I don't think he did it on purpose, but I do think it's fair that he's been sacked.
All right. Ajax, do you share the same opinion as Pierre? Welcome again.
Thanks. First and foremost, I think it's very stupid of Kroes to put himself in a position that he can be sacked for this kind of thing. So they are, of course, right, because the rules are on their side, But I think it's ridiculous that people within the club, the board, do not check enough things before they appoint somebody for definite, So if you already know that he has shares, and I do not know if they knew when the shares were bought, but I think they did. And even if they say that they do not, and they just wait until 2 weeks after they appoint him to ask him, when did you buy those shares? So you have to check certain things when you hire somebody. Same with us, trying to go for a job or a vacancy. They check your references and stuff. They ask you questions. So what I do not understand from the club side, from the board side, is why did they appoint him and then 2 weeks later they sack him? Because they must have known that he has shares and they didn't ask the proper questions so that they could prevent this situation. Because it's bad for the club when you appoint somebody and then another scandal happens, They could have prevented that. So yes, I think they are in the right rules-wise, Kroes was just stupid. And also today we read that also during his spell at AZ, he made mistakes. And also when he was at the Go Ahead Eagles, he made mistakes. So it's just stupid from his side. But at the same time, it feels like there's some other motives behind it. Especially after you read a little bit about it and the gut feeling that you have, that I also must say it feels like he's being crucified. So yeah.
It's not crucified. It is not crucified. It's more like offered because we don't like you and your plans.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's basically what happened.
It was just a little wordplay, but let it pass by.
All right. So just to separate things, Jadranka, I will go to you as well. You already mentioned that you think there's more at hand than just owning those shares or buying those shares right before he got appointed at Ajax. I'm just talking about his spell at Ajax for now because he owned shares of Ajax before as well. But you're already saying a little bit like, okay, there's more than just owning those shares or buying those shares right before he was appointed. The way that he got expelled, basically, the way it went, and also after hearing perhaps Van Praag's interview, there might be more going on than just that. Is that what you're saying? And why is that?
I think so. Let's just state this first and foremost. Like I said, Kroes is just stupid for being in this position. It's his own fault. I don't feel sorry for him because you know that you cannot do certain things. So that's the first and foremost that I want to say. But I'm mad at the club for putting us in this position again, because the supervisory board and the people that are responsible to check certain stuff when you hire people for your club at important positions, same with Mislintat, you have to ask certain questions, and they do not do that in time. That's what worries me, because you put the club in a bad position. Otherwise, you could have tackled this prematurely and already find another person for this position. That's what worries me a lot. And the reason that it happened, not the reason, but the way it happens, it feels a little bit fishy to me. Like there's maybe something behind it that they do not like, the way he wants to handle the club affairs and stuff. But that is something that you can only guess, because you cannot know for certain. But the way it happens, it's just bad situation for the club, and the supervisory board failed again.
Yeah. Look, just to add to what you just said, and Jadranka, I'll go to you right after. Mike Verwij said in his podcast, and I know Mike Verwij, sometimes it's salt, sometimes it's pepper, whichever you like. But
vinegar.
Neither.
Vinegar. It's always vinegar with him.
It's always
no. That's Valentijn Driessen.
Both.
Yeah. No, but seriously, he said that he spoke with Kroes after he was, suspended briefly, and Kroes actually admitted that there might be more to it than just owning those or buying those shares. That it might be a political move as well. So that, of course, doesn't help the narrative that it's only because of that mistake, which is a mistake. But there might be more at hand, which Jadranka already basically started with. Jadranka, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Well, let's open Pandora's box a little bit. The supervisory board knew when they announced Kroes that he had 42,500 shares. They knew that. He gave that answer to them. They didn't know that he bought a part of that a week before. But they knew that. They even communicated that in the BAVA. So they can never say, "Oh, we didn't know," or "We had no knowledge at all."
For people that don't know what BAVA is, can you please explain?
Yeah, it's the buitengewone aandelenvergadering.
It's the ordinary shareholders meeting. Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
Wow. Great translation.
And it's basically the bigger shareholders get invited to the BAVA, and the biggest decisions first have to be communicated through the BAVA. So it was actually communicated over there. So they can never say that they didn't know that he had the shares. They only didn't know that he purchased those a week before. Actually, the VEB, which is kind of the organization that controls all shareholders, or is representative of all shareholders, knew that this was being investigated by Quote, the magazine. And they actually got inside information from Ajax via an old-fashioned letter through the post. that there was a problem. So they knew as well. And about 10 days before the April Fool's Day, it was asked to Ajax, do you know he has shares? Yeah, we know that. Do you also know when those were purchased?
Yeah.
And then they said, we have to pass this through the AFM, another organization in the shareholding.
It's a regulator.
Yeah, a regulator.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started talking with Kroes, who said, "Yeah, I've got those shares here. You have an Excel sheet with the buy dates." And that's when Ajax decided we cannot trust this guy because he wasn't open about it. That's part of the truth.
Which he was, but
a part. But he communicated that he had 42,500 shares.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry.
Exactly. No, you're right.
So it's a little bit double. What the shady thing is that Kroes didn't buy them directly on the stock market. He bought them via another way.
Yeah,
where the AFM
probably.
cannot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A broker probably.
Yeah, but in that way, the AFM cannot really chase that proactively.
All right.
So yeah, and that's basically the story, if I'm correct with my sources.
Yeah, it's in a nutshell, of course. We'll come back to that in a bit. I think the formation or the starting 11 might be coming out now as well.
Please, another 5 in the back. Make me happy again.
All right, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Sarcasm, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me go with the comments, guys, quickly, because about this topic, some people have questions. I think this comment was before we started. Kans is asking, where's Kabir, by the way? Kabir is, to be very honest with you, having some personal stuff he has to deal with, so he's not available for the time being. So that's the answer. Chris Clark is saying he was here so long that his bum didn't even warm the seat. So he's referring to Alex Kroes. Javid is saying, hi all, everybody read that Supporters Club communique? Yes, we did. We met with Van Praag. He said that it was a right move, so it's a right move to sack Kroes. Pretty much. That's basically the summary. Let me see what else we have. Kans is saying, I don't trust Van Praag. All right.
Exactly.
Yarenko doesn't trust him either. Milenio is saying, let's thank the tremendous work he did and wish him the best for his future endeavors. Lol. Hi to everyone. Everybody's saying hi, everyone. Maybe we should offer the job to John van het Schip.
Sure.
Puntje saying, said about Alex, but in Van Praag we definitely do not trust. Typical bureaucrat out for attention and power. Alex is much more and better than that. All right. And then Kans reacting, maybe we should offer the job to Stijn. Yeah, let's run circles, guys. Let's run circles. All right, what else do we have? Just quickly. Milenio, Juan, my thoughts. Of course, people make money shady way. At least this time we know the fact. No need for guessing. Yeah. You know, about that, right? The only thing I still don't understand is we're talking about somebody who made a lot of money. He's an entrepreneur, you know. He invested in the stock market before, probably, most likely. You know, he owned shares of Go Ahead Eagles as well. I remember. No, but that was not open market. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, how can somebody not know? You cannot buy shares when you're going to be appointed as a director, and you know, like insider, he didn't know.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. Sorry? It's bullshit.
No, but he said when he was confronted, come on, I didn't know. He said
but that's bullshit. Even I knew. I don't have shares. I knew. You knew. Who doesn't know?
Yeah, but I know.
You have to be really stupid not to know that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it from the day I watched Wall Street. You know, the movie. I mean, that's a classic. He didn't watch the movie, but all right.
Yeah, he doesn't have a TV.
No, you know what it is? You can summarize it. It's just stupid because
Yeah.
I read somewhere that this estimate that he owns is like 40 million euros. So it's a rich guy. He
80.
will not get rich off these shares. So maybe he overestimated what he can do for the club, and maybe he expected the share to go booming. You know,
But it doesn't.
but it's just plain stupid. So it's his own fault, and I understand that he's gone because you have to live by the rules. But that's that part. I think we can close that, in my opinion, because it's his own fault. But the way the club handles this shit, that is something that, like I said, worried me a lot. Because
Okay,
you
but the
put
way
your club
hold on, hold on.
in the wrong
Just a moment.
daylight, you know?
Yeah, just a moment. The way the club handles this ship,
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
You mean from the start, or you mean also now that they found out about the insider trading, the way they handled
They
it?
knew since August that he had shares.
Exactly.
So if you are, if you are at the job and you're interviewing people, asking questions, sometimes you do that on your own if you're responsible. This is a group of people that are responsible to check certain stuff. Nobody in their right mind thought of the question, okay, so this guy has shares. We are on the stock market. There are certain regulations that you have to follow and that you have to check. You know, people who work at the bank and they have to check certain companies. You have procedures for that. So
Yeah.
nobody thought in all those months to ask him, when did you buy the shares?
Yeah.
So out of the question that he is in fault, you know, Kroes, but the way the club handles this business and put us in bad daylight again, it worries me a lot, especially after the Mislintat episode, that we do not know what the outcome is yet. You should have been extra careful to check what is necessary to check. So for me, it's Kroes exit, but all the people that were responsible for this should exit also, because it's a major fuck up, especially in this time that we are in. All the rest is needed within the club and for the team. They create more havoc this way. So that's just my summary for both parties. It's just shit altogether.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think any of us are mad at the board for sacking Kroes. I think we're mad at the supervisory board for not supervising. That's their only job, and they fucked up. And they're not admitting that they fucked up. They just